Were there others killed? Yes, there are others killed. Who they are, we don't know. But at this point, we think that the procedures were correctly followed, and it was a righteous strike.
And what we've seen over the past week is that our over-the-horizon capacity can work and has worked in going after ISIS targets and killing people who went after our troops. So that's where our resources and our focus is going to be on at this point in time.
Remember that? The Biden administration strongly defending its late August drone strike in Kabul, Afghanistan. But now we know that it was, in fact, a colossal intelligence failure. At least 10 Afghanistan civilians, including 7 children, were killed, but not a single ISIS-K terrorist. Progressive Senator Bernie Sanders called it out.
Certainly hope they understand what happened and make sure that never happens again. This is not only a human tragedy, it reflects on us before the entire world. It's unacceptable.
The latest Fox News polling shows 55% of voters say they believe the Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan poses a major threat to U.S. security. Only 36% of voters approve of President Biden's handling of Afghanistan. Pete Hegseth is co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend. Pete, quite frankly, I'm surprised that they could find 36% of people who supported the president on how he pulled out of Afghanistan.
Very true. Good morning, Harris. It was General Milley. Obviously, it was not a righteous strike. And to Jen Psaki, it proves that, unfortunately, tragically, it does not work. A key piece of information here, Harris, is that General Milley did come out and say, hey, we made a mistake. However, there's now new reporting from the New York Post that shows that the CIA was attempting to alert the military to the fact that there were likely kids in the car. Unfortunately, it seems the Hellfire missile had already been fired. But that means within that fog of that moment, somebody within our intelligence services had a sense that there were likely a lot of kids in that vehicle, even if there was an ISIS terrorist in there per se, which means standing at a podium just a few days later and saying this is a righteous strike means you're ignoring a certain part of the narrative that you may have known about at that moment. Yet again, Milley potentially misrepresenting something that he knew, should have known at the very least, but didn't. You know, in order to have an effective strike like this, you not only need to know what it is and where it is, and we thought we knew what it was, a Toyota Corolla. That's like finding a needle in a haystack, by the way, in Kabul. They're everywhere, every other car. You need to know where. We thought we knew in that courtyard, but we clearly didn't know who, Harris. And when you don't have human intelligence or you're relying on the Taliban, it means all you have is over-the-horizon drone surveillance. They followed this car apparently for 8 hours. They think it stopped at an ISIS safe house. Clearly, it was water and not explosives, and children and innocent civilians are dead. There should be accountability for this. And the question Colonel Walsh asked is right. Was there political pressure to strike because of what had happened tragically to our Marines and soldiers a few days earlier that pushed this, as opposed to actual actionable intelligence?
Who wouldn't come to that conclusion, actually, because, you know, 1 and 1 still equals 2. If other people say it's going to be 5, they can say that, but it's pretty clear that something was behind this that didn't have anybody's best interest at hand, let alone the people in that car. What a mistake. And NBC News reporter...
And let alone our reputation. Let alone our reputation now when we're talking about righteous strikes and we're killing civilians, it hurts us across the board and makes us more vulnerable.
I want to get to this. An NBC News reporter is going after the Biden administration for calling the deadly drone strike on Afghan civilians a mistake. His tweet reads, "A mistake is when you forget to take out the trash or sleep through your alarm. This is absolutely horrifying." MSNBC host Chuck Todd also ripped into the president, saying he has a credibility problem.
I think he's got a pretty big credibility crisis on his hands, because all of these problems in some ways showed up after he said something basically the exact opposite. He's got a lot of work to do. The UN speech, look, he's got some credibility issues on the world stage, make sure that people still view America as not just a stable democracy, but a competent leader of the free world right now.
Wow. When your friends don't want to be your friend.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'll give a lot of deference to our military in almost every situation, meaning the intentions of that drone operator, the intentions of those attempting to find ISIS bombers based on whatever intelligence we had, those were righteous intentions. They were attempting to keep Americans there safe. And I don't think there was ever an intent to kill civilians, and I don't put that on Joe Biden or General McKinsey or General
100%.
Milley. What I do put on them, though, are the conditions that they willfully created, which created an over-the-horizon capacity that was utterly insufficient and led to this type of tragic situation happening. That's on them, and there's been no accountability for it.
When Senator Cotton says over the horizon, in this instance, with no intelligence on the ground in Afghanistan, is over the rainbow, you can see how he gets there. Pete Hegseth, thank you very much. Be sure, by the way, I'm going to brag about you now, to check out Pete's new Fox Nation series, Modern Warriors. Pete features 4 of our brave men and women in blue who have gone above and beyond the call of duty to catch criminals and ensure justice is served. And right now, first responders get 1 year of Fox Nation for free. Log in to sign up.